In the end, Lemuria was destroyed through these passionate impulses of mankind. Meanwhile, the earth had undergone further changes and had become more solid. Other continents had arisen, and most important among them was Atlantis, between present-day Europe, Africa, and America. The descendants of the Lemurian race had spread over this continent. In the course of millions of years, they had greatly changed and had acquired a form which resembled the form of man today. Yet they were very different from modern man. The shape of the head and forehead was quite different. The forehead was much lower, and the organs of eating were much more powerfully developed. The etheric body of an Atlantean extended far beyond and around his head. In the etheric body there was an important point which corresponded with a point in the physical head. In the course of Atlantean evolution, the 2 points drew together until the point in the etheric body sank into the physical. At the moment when these 2 points coincided, man could begin to say I to himself. The forepart of the brain could now develop as an instrument for the spirit. Self-awareness began. All this happened first among those Atlanteans who dwelt in the neighborhood of modern Ireland. The Atlanteans gradually evolved through 7 subraces: Romoals, Tlavatli and primal Toltecs, Turanians, Semites, Akkadians, and Mongols. It was among the primal Semites that the unification of the 2 points first occurred, and clear self-consciousness arose. The 2 following subraces, the primal Akkadians and Mongols, really went beyond the goal of Atlantean humanity. Until the 2 points were thus united, the soul powers of the Atlanteans were fundamentally different from our own. The Atlanteans had a much more mobile body, and especially in their early times a very powerful will. They were able, for instance, to replace a lost limb. They could make plants grow, and so on. Thus they exercised a powerful influence over nature. Their sense organs were more strongly developed. They could distinguish different metals by touch, just as we can distinguish smells. They still possessed also a high degree of clairvoyance. Their sleep at night was not like that of modern man, who mostly has only confused dreams. It was rather a dim sort of clairvoyance. During the night they were in touch with the gods, and what they experienced lived on in myths and legends. They pressed the powers of nature into their service. Their dwellings were partly natural structures and partly hewn out of rocks. They constructed airships which were not propelled by inorganic forces such as coal, but by the use of the organic germinating power of plants. As long as the 2 points I have mentioned were not yet united, the Atlanteans had no reasoning intellect. For instance, they could not count. But to make up for that, they had particularly well-developed memories. A logical, reasoning intellect and self-consciousness emerged only with the 5th subrace, the primal Semites. Atlantis perished in a vast water catastrophe. The whole continent was gradually flooded, and most of the people migrated eastward toward Europe and Asia. One of the main groups passed through Ireland and Europe to Asia. Everywhere numbers of people remained behind. They were led by a high initiate, in whom the migrants had complete faith. Through his wisdom he picked out the best of them to accompany him to a distant part of Asia, where he settled them in the district now known as the Gobi Desert. There a small colony developed in complete isolation. From there colonizers went out into all inhabited lands and founded the civilizations of the next root race: the Indian, the Persian, the Egypto-Chaldean Assyrian, the Greco-Latin, and then the Anglo-Saxon Germanic civilization arose.